just felt like going live, y'all. You ever write something you like, wow, this would seem a little bit better if it came from my words, my mouth, all of that. So this is one of those moments where I felt like, yeah, I think this should be my words, my mouth. Thank you to someone who is on here with me, I believe. Don't know how to tell, but I think if you put a comment down, I might be able to see it. So feel free. Grab a cup of coffee. I'm going to read my blog in my voice, my words. And yeah, today just felt like that kind of day. Like, yeah, this needs to be said as well as written. Sometimes that's good. But I won't belabor the point, as the preachers would say. I won't hold you long. So, yeah. I am going to be looking up. So I know usually it's better to this way, but I'm a read. No. That's all my church friends. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I will try to glance down, see if there's a comment or something. But today's blog comes from the book of Joeletta. It says, "What my toys would say if I wasn't here. The weight, the honor, and the privilege of being the gap filler." Spoiler alert, I'm about to ruin an episode of a kid's cartoon for you. I watch a lot of cartoons. It helps me decompress. And so one of those is Doc McStuffins. And in one of the final episodes of Doc McStuffins, Doc has a rough day at her toy hospital. She makes some bad calls. Things get a little messy. She goes home exhausted and distraught, feeling like her toys would honestly be better off without her. So she falls asleep and she dreams about what life would be like for her toys if she had never been there at all. It's every bit of it bit it's every bit as bad as you would imagine. Toys that were broken never got fixed. Rips and stuffed animals stayed torn. And one toy, a stuffed snowman who doesn't know he's not real, just stays out in the cold, shivering, believing that that's where he belongs because there was nobody there to tell him otherwise. I watched that episode and something in me went quiet because somewhere in me, I felt the exact same thing about the people in my life. I don't know that I change anyone's life. I'm careful about saying that. That is a tall order to feel because it feels like a big claim. But I do believe that their lives would be different if I wasn't in the gap. My brother, he has some health concerns, but we both finished a fitness class that met twice a week. I'm the one who picked him up, drove him, and participated with him. My great nephew, he had a doctor's appointment that needed someone to take him to on a Wednesday. I was that someone. My friend's daughter is training for the band, and she needed someone to meet her at the track. I showed up. Two students from A&T found me through a mutual connection looking for mentorship. This is all during their internship. I got on the call. And when the kid's mom went on her honeymoon, 8 kids needed a parent. 2 of them had to get to football practice. One of them needed to get to work, and every one of them needed to get somewhere. Who was the someone? Me. None of these things I'm required to do. None of them come with a paycheck, but all of them come with a phone call, a text. Can you? And I show up. And here's the answer. Here's the honest answer. I don't want a Doc McStuffins version of their lives. I don't want to know what it looks like if my brother doesn't have someone to help him get to the class. I don't want to imagine my nephew navigating appointments alone, or being the kid who nobody drove to practice, or the college student who reached out and got silence back instead of a mentor. The weight of imagining that alternative, that's what keeps me in the gap. And it's not that I think I'm the only one who could do it. And it's that I know I'm the one who's here and I'm willing and I'm available. The gravity of what could go wrong if I weren't, that is heavier than my own exhaustion most days. And I want to be careful here because I know this could sound like I'm a martyr and I'm exhausted and I'm resentful, counting all the ways that I give back and never get anything in return. Nope, that's not it. It's not at all. Being the gap filler is my honor. It is my privilege and it's my calling. If I'm being fully honest with you, here's what I actually get in return. It's not just give, give, give. And this doesn't show up on an invoice. I get to know these people, not from a distance, not as auntie who shows up at the holidays or sister who only calls and checks in. I know my brother's rhythms. I know my nephew's fears. I know the tone of a mentee who's struggling versus the one who's just checking in. I've earned that closeness by being present for the ordinary, the unglamorous moments, the doctor's office waiting rooms, the car rides to practice, the 5 p.m. meetups at the track when I'm already exhausted from teaching. That intimacy is the reward. It's not separate from the weight. It comes because of it. And here's the part that I didn't expect to realize until I sat with this. I feel their gaps, but they feel mine too. My brother has health concerns, and yes, we did the fitness class together twice a week, but I needed that class too, just as much as he did. And if I'm honest, I probably wouldn't have shown up for myself the way I showed up for him. My great nephew's appointment, I was the one who took him, but being trusted with his health, knowing the details, being the one who gets to say, no, we shouldn't do that. Yeah, that's fine. That's a privilege. And I don't take it lightly. And it feels something in me too. Mentoring those two students from A&T, that's an honor that I've waited for a long time. Being able to hand someone my lessons learned while they're right there in the trenches building their own path, I love giving that away. It feels a part of me that's always wanted to pour into someone coming up behind me. And the 8 kids, while their mom was on their honeymoon, yes, 8, 2 to football practice, 1 to work, and all of them somewhere. I can remember being in middle school and saying to myself, I want 5 kids. I want 5 boys, just so I have enough for a basketball team. I always wanted to be a mom. And I'm at peace with the fact that life didn't go that direction for me biologically. But every time I get to be auntie mom to those kids, I love every second of it. I'm still Aunt J, but there's a mom in there somewhere too. And being in that gap feels fills the gap for me. So yes, I show up for them. But there's a part of them that shows up for me too. I don't know if their lives would fall apart without me, the way Doc's Toys world did in our dream. Mm. I hope that's an exaggeration. I hope there would be other hands and other people who'd step in. But I don't want to test that theory either. So I keep showing up. I keep filling the gap. Not because I have to, but because I choose to. Over and over. And even on the days when I'm running on fumes. Because I love them enough to want the good ending. Not the dream where I wasn't there. The one where I was. This is Dr. Joeletta, systems thinker, gap filler, former NASA flight controller, still here to change the world and still choosing to be in the gap every single time. Thank you. Thank you to those who joined me and who will listen to this later. I just felt like today's blog needed my voice, needed me to say what I say, but actually say it from my mouth. And I appreciate you joining to share. Um, Maybe we'll do more of these if there's good responses to it. I'm always testing the waters to see where people where it feels other people's needs. So thank you so much and have an amazing Sunday today. And look forward to comments, questions, and all of that. Have a good one. Bye.